Hey everyone, thanks for coming back to Natural Blondes. I wanted to come to you today and talk to you about 3 different tips that I use to help you stay focused and on track in your business and make sure you're productive. So my question is for you, what is something that's holding you back in your business? Is it fear of success? Are you overwhelmed? Do you feel that there's maybe judgment around your business? Do you lack focus? Do you just have some fears in general? Do you have issues with setting aside time to really focus on your business? And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So something that I have an issue with is really setting aside time to make sure that everything in my life gets their time. And so I'm not always present with my family because I do have a very, very awesome, thriving business. And so I'm going to give you 3 tips that I use to help me stay on track. Okay, so first tip that I give is less multitasking, more time blocking. So if you have a calendar, go whip it out right now. Pause me if you need to, but this is really important. So if you have your calendar, we always think about time blocking so that everything can actually get its time. So we have 24 hours in a day. So how many hours do you need to sleep? We definitely want to write that down because that's a non-negotiable, right? We need our sleep. Well, what are your other non-negotiables? Do you still have an 8-hour job and this is your side job? Well, obviously we still need our 8-hour job, so we have to work that down in our non-negotiables. What else is there? Time with children. So my children, I have to take to and from school. I have to take them to and from dance. And sometimes there's other activities in between. So we need to mark that time off too because we need to take care of our children. Or maybe you have to help take care of your parents. So we need to mark that time off as a non-negotiable as well. And then we have to look at other things so that we can start to subtract these hours from our 24 hours and look at what is left for us to work with. So once you get from that, we're going to look at one of 2 people. So you're going to be either the person who says, oh my gosh, I have more time in my day than I actually thought I did. Or you're going to be the person who says, I have no time for my business. What am I going to do? So when it comes to that, then you need to learn that maybe you need to make some sacrifices. So one of my big issues is kind of working with my children and being present with my children. When I'm with my kids, I want to be 100% with my kids and not worried about my business. But that also means that when I'm with my business, I need to be 100% focused on my clients and not be worrying about them. So sometimes kids are my example, I guess, of an excuse as why we don't always do what we need to do with our business. But the other aspect of that is kind of helping your kids learn and understand that they need to be part of your purpose. So involving them in your dreams is really important. And I always tell my children when they maybe feel like they're not getting enough time that I'm doing this because I want to be able to give us more traveling opportunities. So I just took my kids to Costa Rica and they thought that was the most amazing trip they've ever been on. And so me working maybe more hours one day, like 10, 12 hours instead of just an 8-hour day, they're understanding that, well, mommy needs to do this so we can have fun and travel together, and then we have her undivided attention for that amount of time. So that comes down to where we're going to block this time out for us, and then we're going to block out time for our children too. And once we start doing that, we're actually going to have more quality work and then be more present in what we're doing. And that's what's really important. So if you can give yourself an hour to work on your business every day with undivided attention and not dealing with your children or dealing with your parents or any other responsibilities you have, you're going to get so much more done than if you were constantly multitasking all day. The second thing I want to talk about is actually developing clarity around where you're headed. You do need a roadmap for yourself, and you really need to be specific. What goals do you have with this business that you are running? Where do you really want to start? What do you still need help with, or what do you still need help figuring out? So we need to maybe identify your skill level and see where do you still need to grow. And you also want to make chunkable goals. And I say that as like bricks. We want to have these little bricks that kind of get to our pyramid where we're at the top of what we need or what we want or what we're striving for. So when we kind of break it down that way, we're looking at brick by brick every single day, we can make these little baby steps. And that's really important because then you're looking at what do I have to get done every day in this hour of time or 2 hours I've set aside. And look at that number one thing that has to be done. And once you have that number one thing that has to be done, when you still have more time, you follow down your list everything else that you can get done in that day. So I'm all about lists and checking off that list. And if you're like me, once you start checking things off that list, it's such a good feeling. And then you go, oh, now I can add more stuff to my list, right? So exciting. So number 3 is stop taking massive action. And some people might disagree with me on this, but if you're focused and consistent, you can take massive action. But not everyone is as motivated or has as much energy or as much time for their business as maybe I do. So when we take little baby steps, we're not going to set ourselves up for failure. If we're taking massive steps or getting really excited in the beginning, we're kind of setting ourselves up for a burnout. And we really don't want to burn out because then we get exhausted and that's when sometimes we just give up. And we don't want to do that. So if we're always looking at actions we can actually take in our business, then we're looking at brick by brick and not overwhelming ourselves. You know, building a business is a process. So how long is that process going to take? Well, let me tell you. I've been building my business for maybe 4 years now. Am I done? Nope. So think of it in those terms. Once you reach one goal, now you're going to want to reach another one. And then you're going to want another one. So once you learn that, all these little goals that you keep reaching are going to eventually amount to that big goal that you're really looking for. So I always talk about fast track versus fast start. So fast start is this massive action where you kind of go in really hot and heavy and so excited, and then you get exhausted and you're not getting all the clients you want and you're not getting the return you want. And that's why we get burned out and we get tired. But when we do fast track, we're looking at baby steps every single day. And that's what's really important, is always staying consistent. And that helps you to stay focused. And that helps you to stay clear on your goals and actions that you should be taking every single day. I hope you enjoyed this today on how to keep staying productive in your business. Please tap that bell and then you'll know every time the Natural Blondes send you a new video. Hope you have a great day. Thanks, guys.